baby, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 9 of Husker Hype Radio. I'm Eddie Rosenthal. That's Aaron Worsfold. And folks, we got a special guest for today's podcast, friend of the program, Tyler Sidwell. Tsid the Kid has made an appearance on Husker Hype Radio before week 1 of last season against Northwestern. We were all there. It was a party. Tyler, welcome to the podcast, bud.
Good to have me, boys.
I like how he has his Nebraska gear on and not his Woo Pig Suey.
No, can't be wearing that. They didn't come this year, so be rooting.
We're rooting for Nebraska now.
Well, I don't know who I'm rooting on in the CWS.
Tyler's an Arkansas fan. Don't let him fool you.
Baseball,
Tyler
baby.
likes to switch. He likes to switch around. We kind of give him shit for that.
Like last year when Arkansas went on their run and they won a couple games, he's like, "Oh, Sam Pittman, he's gonna do it. The boys were 6-6, and now they're doing whatever. They're going to whatever," and he's sucking his cock.
Yeah, if only. No, we're not gonna get into that.
Well, boys. Yeah, episode 9, like we said. Last week there was episode 8 for about 6 hours. Interview with Husker football soon-to-be legend Tyler Canuck. Sadly, that episode had to get deleted due to circumstances. I guess coaches and media staff saw the podcast. We're not too fond of bleed red shit corn, which is sad. I don't think that we want to get too much into it because Nebraska football is the team that we root for, and we can't get mad at those guys for trying to do their thing. But also, I don't think that we're going to stop what we're doing here. We're still going to keep on bleed red and shit and corn. You know?
Yeah, Eddie, I mean, you said that perfectly. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. In true Husker Hype fashion, we want to get hype and riled up and fight our opponents. But in this case, our opponents are ourselves. So we just need to do some reflecting, honor the wishes of some circumstances, and move forward, because that's all we can do.
Right. And I agree with us having to take it down. I don't, but I'm gonna, like we said, we gotta honor those who we're rooting for, and I'm not gonna try to get in the fight with Nebraska. That would be so stupid. We're not gonna be we can't be fans but also be in that just doesn't work. Right. So hopefully they come to fruition soon and catch on and say, you know what, Husker Hype Radio is good. Bleed red shit corn. These guys aren't trying to downgrade the university whatsoever. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to be loyal fans, which we are, and trying to bring a different perspective to covering Nebraska football. And hopefully that we can, at some point reach an agreement and get a booth thing or something. But
I mean, you never hear a good story start off on the top. The good story starts at the bottom, face some adversity, and then you get to the top. And let's be honest, Eddie, it sucks for us, but the real loser here is TK, Tiny Bigfoot, our guest, transferred from Utah. I mean, all that good information we had about him, the stuff that he had to say about Nebraska, his time here, his time with the team, the coaches, it was a great one. The people that heard it, they loved it. Great feedback. And he's the real loser because of just the great human he is.
Great guy. Yeah, Tyler did an excellent interview. We just had so much fun. We talked everything from his transfer, him being in the transfer portal, to coming to Nebraska, meeting the boys. If he would choose a silverback gorilla or a grizzly bear, who would win in a fight. We talked about Runza. We talked about bleed red shit corn, and apparently that was the thing that the university didn't like. I maybe also think that it was more just them looking at the page Husker Hype Radio and seeing us do beer bongs and chugging Fireball
and hanging out with inflatable sex dolls.
Yeah, I don't know if the university wants that all up on their page.
Yeah. So moving forward, I think it's like needless to say, like we're gonna have to monitor the content a little bit more than we would like to. But that's only because we believe in the passion of Husker Hype Radio, and in order to impact the most amount of people that we possibly can, we have to make some pivots, hot
Right.
routes.
That's right. But nonetheless, after saying that, we still bleed red and shit corn.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's something
something
that's
that
not going to change. The
yeah.
hype will not change. None of it's, you're going to see the same Aaron and Ed every week with special guests like Tyler, Tsid, and it's still going to be fun. It's still going to be rowdy. We're still going to fucking get fired up and get goosebumps every week for Husker football. Don't fucking doubt that. Okay. Don't you doubt that this podcast, that this broadcast, that this radio fucking
show.
not going to change. It's not going to change, but we just hope that us and the university can make amends.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're in trouble with them whatsoever, but it's just we're just in like a disagreement right now. I wouldn't even say a disagreement. It's not understanding.
I would like it. I would like. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
Have you guys come to? I don't know if I'm also sharing too much here, but have you come to terms with what you may rename since infringement on the?
Oh God,
Husker?
Tyler, this has not been talked to the hypesters yet, but if we want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
It can be cool if you had a poll.
Okay,
a couple.
So what Tyler is referring to here is in conjunction with kind of to get ahead of basically facing more recourse from the university, the word Husker is licensed by them. And so we're like, do we change the name of Husker Hype Radio to something else? Let's say it Bleed Red Radio. Nonetheless, we're like, fuck, we should probably change this before we get in trouble, et cetera, et cetera. Eddie, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, we want to make merch. We want to take out these Bleed Red Shitcorn t-shirts and put our name on the sleeve. But we're kind of worried if we put Husker Hype Radio on there, will the university be mad at us and say, hey, this is licensed, we have to pay a licensing fee, which we really don't want to do. So we might have to change our name. And like I said, still going to be the same podcast broadcast. We're still going to you guys are still going to be the hypesters, but it's just a simple name change that really means nothing other than us not wanting to be in cahoots with the university and getting in trouble, because we, at the end of the day, we respect Nebraska. Of course we do. This is the team that we root for and the university that we have so much love for. But we just I don't want any more trouble, dude. I don't want to be like the bad kid, dude.
Right. The bad boys of Husker football. Tyler, question for you. So you said poll. I like the idea. Leave it up to the hypesters to give us some input here. It's an interactive broadcast. So one idea we had was Bleed Red Radio. Bleed Red Shitcorn would be the slogan per usual. Tyler, do you have another idea for us?
Ooh, the Rule-Aid Boys?
The Rule-Aid Boys.
But what happens in 20 years when Matt Rule retires after 10 national championships and he's like, he's retired. He's like, I did all I can do for Nebraska. Right. And then we're still the Rule-Aid Boys.
I mean,
it's tough. You don't want to change up branding if you're that deep.
We were kind of thinking maybe Corn Cob Radio. That we love corn. It's the Cornhusker team. Corn is not trademarked by the university. That's the big thing, is just not have Husker or Go Big Red or anything like that, because there's a lot of slogans, terms that are trademarked by the university, and trying to stray away from that. But who knows? We reached out to them, and if we get an email and they say, yeah, go for it, full blow, you guys are good, Husker Hype Radio, boom, then that'd be sick. We're just kind of thinking ahead of time that if anything happens, we're trying to stay ahead of what we might have to do in the future.
Right. That's a good place to end that, I think. We wrap that up nicely.
Yeah, episode 8 is behind us. We had a great time with Tyler. All love to him. I think that he was a little taken back that we had to delete it. I don't think that he thought anything was wrong with it. He posted it on his story. But other than that, it's episode 9. Now we got Tsid in the motherfucking building. Tyler, what's up, baby? What's up? What do you want to talk about? Give us some shit, dog. Throw some.
A couple things that have come to my mind when I've been reading about the Huskers lately is the biggest thing is expansion. You know, all these teams, all these conferences are want to expand. And, you know, eventually in these next 10 years, we're gonna have like 4 big super conferences. And so one thing I was thinking of, and there's always to throw around, you know, Oregon, Washington, all those teams that we think could come to the Big Ten next. What are what are the top 3 that you guys would like to see from West from here on out?
Mm.
Would you like to see a Colorado come to the Big Ten?
No,
Bring back the rivalry? No? Let
no,
them go
fuck
back to the Big
Colorado.
12?
Yes.
Interesting you say that, Aaron. But here let me just preface this by saying next year, with the addition of USC and UCLA, there's gonna be no divisions. Okay. So no
Odds.
divisions next year. And each member institution will continue to play 9 intra-conference games per season, and teams will play every other conference opponent at least twice in a 4-year period. So that means it's just going to be like standings, 1 and 2, the top teams that have the most wins in the Big Ten, they go play in the Big Ten championship. And then there's teams' annual protected matchups. Nebraska has Iowa, but then there's also some other teams that have two. Like Iowa has Wisconsin as well that they're going to play annually every single year. Michigan has OSU and Michigan State. So that's kind of interesting. And then I feel like if we do add more teams, as like Tyler was talking about, they're probably going to do the same thing where we just play teams and may the best man have the best record and play in the Big Ten championship. But as far as who I'd like to see, I think number 1 on the list for me would definitely be Notre Dame.
Ooh,
That's
Notre
a good
Dame.
one.
that's a big pick. I
Gotta
like
get
it.
like that's just a historic program, and I think that fits well in the Big Ten in the same region. We got Illinois already. We got Indiana. They're in Indiana, right?
South Bend, Indiana. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
South Bend, Indiana. Yep. So Notre Dame, I think, would be a good fit geographically, traditionally, and with USC and UCLA too. Notre Dame USC is a huge rivalry. I mean, I just think that would be one that really fits well.
I agree. And every year Notre Dame already plays like one of the best Big Ten schools. And that, like you just said, USC's coming. They're easy fit, easy like historical rivals. Another one I'd like, Pitt. I'd like to see Pitt for some reason, just
Yeah.
because their style of play kind of is just reminds me of Big Ten football, running the ball, hard nosed, big boys, trenches, linemen. That's the type of ball I want to see in the Big Ten.
Okay. Why not Colorado?
I mean, like, they're, it's kind of that feeling you have in your balls when you just look at a school and you're like, that's not a Big Ten school. That's a Pac-12 or a Big 12 school. They
Yeah,
don't have
and
the style of play. They're flashy. They suck. I mean, granted, I could be eating my words in a couple years here when whatever happens with Dion, but as of right now, like, I'd rather them go to the Big 12.
yeah, and that's what's in talks right now is them joining the Big 12 soon. I mean, that's kind of the thing too, is they're a hot team right now. Dion just got there, and the whole nation eyes are on them. But what if you don't eat your own words and Dion fucking tanks and then Colorado just still sucks, Like
Yeah,
historically, Colorado, Nebraska, great tradition, great football rivalry. But yeah, you're kind of right, Aaron. Other than Nebraska, Colorado has no ties to the Big Ten, really.
right. Even like Oregon and Washington, I don't even think that I really want them in the Big Ten. Like USC and UCLA, when I heard that, I was like, that's kind of fucking sick. But when
Yeah,
I hear Oregon and Washington, it doesn't have that luster.
yeah,
The reason I would like those teams though is geographically, Nebraska is in a hot spot for the Big Ten, adding West Coast teams because those big names, we're the closest one from the rest of the conference to the out west. So they're gonna get stuck playing us. It'll get a good
Well,
brand, get us out on the West Coast more.
I think that would have been a bigger deal like 10 years ago. But now with like the advent of social media and just like TV contracts, etc., that's not that big of a deal for us, really, honestly. Like,
You
yeah,
think
because
social media has taken over?
But I mean, like in terms of like playing there and being like you just said, like being at recruiting because you're playing there more often. That's obviously something bigger. But other than that, like
So
It's not for
Tyler,
you.
for you, it's Oregon, Washington that are number one.
And then just to add into it, just because the Big Ten is a huge academic uh, conference, I think that Stanford could be a really good pick. If we had like Notre Dame, like you said, and a Stanford, Notre Dame already plays those schools all the time. USC, we already have Michigan. These would be great schools. I mean, historic rivalry matchup.
Stanford's kind of dog shit at every single sport, though.
yeah, but remember when
They
they had
come through in
Christian
football every once in a
McCaffrey?
while.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey and Andrew Luck a couple years. Honestly, Stanford is a school that I would say that has the luster of a Big Ten school. I would accept
Mm-hmm.
Stanford.
I mean, they had those years like you were talking about with Christian McCaffrey and Andrew Luck. That was when Jim Harbaugh coached him, and David Shaw had a couple years after Harbaugh because he had all those recruits. But now Stanford's tanking, bro. Like they're like the same as fucking Cal right now. And yeah, they do have the academics, but fuck academics, bro. I want some fucking dogs in the conference. I don't
The N
give a
is for knowledge,
shit
baby.
That's
either
one of those
me.
schools. That's one of those schools though that can have those swings like Notre Dame. Like one year they're dog shit, but the next year they're super good. That's my opinion about Stanford. They have a bounce back. They have a quick reflex. They're elastic.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, pretty interesting though. Like just kind of talking about like the 24-25 schedule. They have already released them. Nebraska's 24 schedule is released. The dates aren't yet, but the home and away teams are. Away for 24, we got Iowa, Northwestern, Penn State, Purdue, and at UCLA, baby, in the Rose Bowl. You know, Husker Hype Radio is going to be there. We're going to get a party bus full of hypesters of bleed red shit corners, Californians for Nebraska. It's going to be absolutely electric. We're going to read that place out next year. I can't wait. Like, that's a game that I'm so excited for. Home games, 24 schedule is going to be Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, and Indiana.
Would you guys consider? I've thought about this for a while now. If we had to pick actual rivals in the Big Ten after being here for a while, obviously Iowa's a given, but I think Minnesota is a bigger rival than most people like Wisconsin for us. But Minnesota actually plays us. I mean, we beat them, they beat us. It's always a
I
tough game.
I know who else you're about to say, Tyler.
I think
Woohoo.
it's interesting. I think it's interesting that Nebraska only has one annual opponent, while other teams have multiple. Like they
Mm-hmm.
only thought that Iowa was like who would you say, Tyler, would you think could be another annual opponent for Nebraska?
Minnesota, I really like them. I wish we would get
Northwestern.
Wisconsin. Northwestern is the one that pisses me off because we shouldn't have the record we have against them. Is where it's kind of back and forth, but
I
they
I
do.
would
They
say
seem to fight with us.
I would say that we should have Iowa for sure. But the thing about like the other schools is they already have groupings of tradition that was
Mm-hmm.
before we joined. So like I bet you it's Minnesota, Wisconsin have annuals too. Iowa, Wisconsin. I'm kind of surprised if we were in the Big Ten, Iowa and Minnesota would be annual too because they fucking hate each other as well. But
Mm-hmm.
ever since the last handful of years, we kind of took that spot since we took the last game of the year. And then I would say the other team that we should have annually, based on what Tyler's saying, is Northwestern. We should have Iowa Northwestern.
Yeah, I do kind of like though that Nebraska only has one annual. Iowa, like
Yeah.
that's what everybody fucking hates Iowa, and I feel like it's so against Minnesota, Wisconsin, Northwestern. Like, yeah, they're good games every year. It seems when we play them, always back and forth, but they just don't scream rival to me as much as Iowa does.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad that Nebraska only has one annual, and then we get more opportunity to play other teams different years and not be stuck with those teams that I just listed.
I'm just glad it's not somebody like fucking Ohio State. If we'd have played them every year, that'd be kind of
Pretty detrimental. We bet
brutal.
Oh,
we'd have to
dude,
get better though. That's
this
Honestly,
another thing I
though,
like about it.
I think the no division thing hurts Nebraska quite a bit because, especially in 2025, we're playing so
Dude,
many good
brutal,
teams. So many
brutal,
good teams.
bro. All away as well. All away. Or no, I guess not all
Yeah,
away. We have Ohio State and USC away, and Minnesota, Maryland. You could
and
say they're
Maryland,
coming, dude. All those four away is very tough, and then at
bro.
home, Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, Rutgers, and UCLA, dude. The weakest team on there is Rutgers. Every other team is coming up. I mean, UCLA, we don't know where they are yet. They had a pretty good year last year, but
Chip
like
Kelly.
Rutgers is the only one where you say, okay, there's one where we can catch a break. All these other schools in 25, tough shit, bro. Tough shit.
Maryland's kind of seeming like they're a dark horse lately.
Yeah, for
If you would
sure.
have listened to episode 6, Tower, you would have heard my take on it. But I guess you're not a real fucking hypester.
I think it was either that or 7 where I listened. You gave me a shout out, and Eddie was trying to say, "Well, let's fake Colorado fans and infiltrate."
Yeah, yeah. We were giving you shit. We were giving you shit last night at softball because that was just an awful
Just
take.
like no,
I
just wear your red shit.
in the episode, I said I would clip that and post it, but it was just so egregious the claims you were making. I knew you would just get skewered, so I saved you from that.
Dude, you should post that clip because I think that you are so wrong. You are so wrong.
Bro, everybody.
It'd be more fun of like, I don't know, you could do it, but you couldn't do like the whole night chilling with Colorado fans. You got to be like 10 minutes with them, act like, and then be like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm being a fucking little rat, dude. I'm gonna be a weasel.
Oh, do you want to
like,
wear Colorado stuff?
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, you were like, let's wear Colorado shit and hang up on the line. And then the next day we'll show up and be like, oh, just kidding about all last night. We're actually Nebraska fans.
I mean, no, just more like at that night before at the bar, just like really get somebody for a good, 20 minutes. Be like, hey, let me get your tickets. I'll pay you $100. Yeah, okay. Nice. We'll see you tomorrow, or send them to me right now. Make sure I got them. Dude, it's a fucking covert operation. It's something that you have to do.
Then I vote that you do it then. And I'll buy.
He's gonna be walking in with like a giant GoPro on his head, like trying to act like he's sneaky, recording the whole thing.
I'll buy my ticket, and then you try to do that method, and then we'll see what happens.
I have like 4 people right now that could possibly give me tickets from Colorado students. So, and I told them to tell them that I'm the biggest Colorado fan. And well, in the back of I know deep down, I'm not even deep down at the fucking core of my skin.
That's different than you going to a bar and faking and being a Colorado fan all night. If what you're doing right now is like normal. You're hitting somebody up for tickets. They just happen to be Colorado fans.
No, dude, this is the equivalent of a fucking US spy going into Russia and learning Russia and fucking.
Tyler, what's your take? You're our guest. What do you think, Tyler?
I just think it's outrageous.
You guys are not any fun, bro. How fun, dude? Come on.
You couldn't pay me to walk into Boulder wearing Colorado gear when Nebraska's going to be playing that weekend. I would be there to piss them off and just show my red shit and get them all angry. I wouldn't even want to be like friends. I want to be the enemy.
That's what I'm talking about, dude, is if I don't have a ticket, which probably I'm going to buy a ticket, so it won't be a thing. But it was just making a fucking like, if hypothetically, if we had to do this, then I would 100% act like a Colorado fan.
I think what you should try to do, if you wanted to do like a side mission, you should see how many Colorado fans you could flip to Huskers. See if you can get anything like that.
That's also like dumb. You're gonna get in a fight.
You're just gonna get in arguments with the bar.
Yeah, like dude, Dion, not Dion, Coach Rule. Oh, you guys suck. No, you suck.
Dude, it's gonna get chippy this year. I feel like it. I mean, and Aaron, I know that you kind of when you get some drinks and you like to talk some shit, dude. Aaron likes to talk a little smack when he.
You almost got in a fight last night at our game.
No, I fucking did it, dude. I was the one that I'm the one that de-escalated the situation. Eddie, I would say maybe about like a couple of years, like 2 to 6 years ago. Yeah, I was definitely the guy that was chirping at the bar, but like in good fun. But now I feel like I do that quite a bit less. I'm definitely more reserved because I've Fighting is not cool. Fighting is actually
No,
super, super
I'm
not cool.
I'm peace and love, bro. I'm always trying to
Yeah.
de-escalate the situation, but I think that maybe you're right. Like you were being chippy, but you were doing it in a fun way, and then
Right.
people that you didn't know realized that you were just fucking around.
Right.
And
That
then
was usually what
sometimes
it
you
was.
you chose the wrong people to be fucking with, and they were like, "What the hell?" But you never really got in any fights or shit. They were just like, "Dude, get the what the fuck are you doing to me?" You're like,
Right.
"Oh, come on, dude, come on."
I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to see my balls, dude? I got three
Yeah,
of them,
I
Brad.
got
What do
They're
you
right
mean?
here.
come on, come
Uh,
on, look at my balls.
so
Come on.
Tyler, we had 10 minutes left in the Zoom here. I know you have a list of things you want to talk about. I need you to just start rattling some stuff.
One other thing I had mentioned to Eddie when we called each other last week was, have you heard about the Big 12? They're going to be doing away games in Monterrey, Mexico. Yep. I'm saying Big 10, Canada. Bring the game to Canada. Bring the nicest fans up to the nicest country. Get some more Canadian fans.
Oh, sorry, go Nebraska. Eh?
Yeah, go to Nebraska. I
See
think
the
if it happened,
Huskers.
there would probably be like a Michigan Minnesota game first to start it off because that's more for Big Ten. But I think if we could infiltrate into that and get that going, ooh, we could get a lot of fans.
One time, Nebraska played in fucking Japan in like
Tokyo, like
1995.
96 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's pretty dope. I think that just like playing in other countries is cool. Um,
Not
but I don't.
Ireland. I don't want to go back there. Fuck Ireland.
Yeah, dude, that there sucks. That place.
Did you like how I didn't like it, but last year I guess they have like some crosswalk sign and it was a big N and it was for like disabled people or something. So when they saw our big N logo, that's all they would think about. And I
And
was
like
like, oh,
the young drivers, people with like permits, they had the ends on the stickers on their
mm-hmm.
car because it stood for novice.
All this,
It was Nebraska ends everywhere.
yeah.
Fuck
Fuck yeah.
Northwestern. I'm still upset.
Big red around the hey, the helmet's still there in the airport. The big Nebraska helmet's still there, man.
Really
Mm.
Fuck yeah, dude.
interesting.
Did you go see it?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't go to Ireland, but I know it's still there because I heard it I heard it online.
Yeah. Do we think, Aaron? Do you think you would be able to go out to California again this year for a game, or do you think you're all hooked up with trying to go to as many games as you can already?
I
I
think the
think
key is to go to as many games as I can. I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
idea.
well in 24 and 25 we got at UCLA at USC. So I think that you're definitely gonna have to make it out here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're
I'm
gonna.
definitely going to the Rose Bowl one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just a historic stadium. That would be beautiful. I think that Nebraska probably
what
will
about the
have more
Coliseum? You
fans.
don't like the Coliseum?
Well, I mean, we have UCLA first, so that's why I'm
Oh,
just
okay. Next
definitely
man.
going to get that one done first.
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
personally am more excited for USC. I think because, dude, it's the Coliseum. I'd argue it's just as historic at the Rose Bowl. Not college football. I mean, college football, the Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all. But it's like Creighton playing at TD Ameritrade. Like, yeah, you're at the College World Series Stadium, but you're fucking watching Creighton Blue Jays play baseball, dude. It's not like a spectacle as it is when it's the actual fucking Rose Bowl, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still gonna
And
go.
the Coliseum's older than the Rose Bowl anyway. That's what they both played before the Rose Bowl was even open.
Yeah, dude. They played fucking there's an Olympics there, bro.
Yeah,
There,
that's fucking sick, dude.
yeah. So I think that shit is Coliseum regular season game way cooler than UCLA at the Rose Bowl. Still gonna go to both, but I'm a lot more excited for 25 at USC.
I'm really excited to see once Matt Rule gets in the swing of things how he is going to take on Lincoln Riley. That's going to be a big matchup.
Lincoln
Old
Riley,
Oklahoma coach.
balls, dude.
He's going to get his balls dipped in our ranch.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley's a fucking little bagmeister. Should we have to do we bleep the F word? The F.
I think anything racial or sexual is bleeped. Yes.
So everything we've talked about, your balls got to go.
No, like sexual, like not like myself. That's different.
Maybe just don't put out an explanation.
Yeah, I think that just gets cut, and we just no one. Hopefully, no one listens this week.
Mhm.
What else, Tyler? You want to play a game in Canada?
I would
Sick.
love to play a game up in Canada. I think it'd
If
be awesome. It'd be so fucking cold and snowy, and that's what we kill at.
no, bro, if I had a power rank countries that I would love to have Nebraska football fans in, it'd be like not Canada, bro. It'd be like Germany would be sick.
Germany.
Yeah, Germany would
Mm.
be sick or something. Not Canada.
Some
I mean,
Australians.
Yeah, dude. Yes, New Zealand. New Zealand would be sick.
a place
Mm.
that, yeah, like a place that people have, like, I feel like Canada, dude, their fans, it's not going to be an electric environment. It's going to be like, oh, let's watch the football game today. I think the Huskers are playing. It's going to be like, yeah, fun. Sit down the whole fucking game. Give me some drunk Germans who love soccer, who love football, and they're going to drink fucking 10 beers before they go into the game, drink another 10 at the game, and just
Maybe
get
the whole
fucking
power grid goes
rowdy.
down. They have to give out free beer again, get them wrecked.
Yeah, dude. Like Canada's a cool place, but fuck you. Yeah, you're talking about how they're nice. Dude, I want to see some chippiness on the boys
Oh,
putting
they'll
in
get
work and
chippy.
getting back.
These are hockey fans coming to watch a blood sport like Smash
But
Mouth
your
football.
argument was that Canada's so nice and you want to get the nicest fans at the nicest country.
I think well, our fans are hard when we're playing you, but win or lose, we'll shake your hand and be like, "Great game." That's what I'm saying. That's how the Canadian fans are.
I
They'll
disagree.
do
I
a
feel like
bloodbath.
Nebraska fans are pretty fucking soft, and they're always like, "Oh, sorry." Actually, you know what, Tyler? That's
Oh,
actually a great
sorry.
take. Nebraska fans are soft.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hate to say it. We've talked
You wish
about
that
it
we were
in
meaner.
the pot. I mean, like not meaner, but like um, a, maybe not even abrasive is not the right word, but somewhere where we just have a bit of like backbone to us. I don't want to be pushovers like, oh, those guys were nice. That's what they remember about Nebraska fans. They're super nice. They were super sportsmanlike.
Right. And you
You want
always
us to
feel
stab
like,
people and take their wallets and say, "Go Big Red."
No, I want them to be like, holy shit, their defense fucking crushed us. And those fans
yeah,
were loud. Those fans were loud. Those are the loudest fans I've ever heard.
yeah, and also maybe getting a little mad when we're fucking getting fired. Like they're like, are these guys really this crazy? Almost like that level. Like we're loud in Lincoln,
You just
100%.
wait until we can bring beer into the stadium.
That's true, dude. That might
Hmm.
change things.
Yeah,
That
it'll
could,
definitely change things.
and then also when all the old season ticket holders die, like Grandma Betty from fucking Ogallala, she can't come anymore, and we replace it with a new generation of Nebraska football fans. That could change things as well. I love Grandma Betty. There probably is a Grandma Betty watching who has season tickets, but she's sitting down, she's eating her runs in peace, and maybe she'll give some high fives after a touchdown. You know?
But that's not what you want.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's what we need those people still, but we need more of the other people too. Because at
Right.
this point, we're not recycling the back end enough. Are we
Because
have an aging fan base? Is my point.
and that generation is used to Tom Osborne winning 10 games a year and winning big conference championships and stuff like that. While our generation, I feel like, is we've been down for a while, dude, and we're fighting. We want to see something good. And when we finally do, hopefully like that fire just ignites.
I think it will because if you think of it, I mean, Aaron, how old you were probably like what 6 months old when they won the championship.
Uh-huh.
We've never seen anything like that. The day that it comes, we're gonna tear down. We'll burn down Shadow Lake. We're gonna run through the streets of Lincoln just with our cocks out,
Everybody
waving.
drive to Shadow Lake. Everybody drive to Shadow Lake right now. We're burning that shit down.
We're
Everybody
streaking.
run. Yeah, we're shrieking at Shadow Lake.
Just imagine it. I can't even imagine how crazy our fan base would go if we were able to win another natty here pretty soon. I mean, we've never seen it in our lifetimes.
There'd be riots in the street. Polls would be
Oh,
down.
Hospitals burning.
The hospital's burning. Tyler, do you have anything else you want to add before we get kicked off this session here?
Not really. I just want to say thanks for having me, boys. I like this. This viewership has grown. It's turned into a lot more than just you and DJ Faders blowing some smoke in the living room. And I think you're on the right path.
Yeah, let's just forget about the 2 years before that, Tyler.
Well, you were the whole time you were in there doing it. DJ Faders wasn't there yet, but it's only up from here.
Tsid, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tyler Sidwell on the pod, Nebraska football fan. We love you. All right, folks. Well, we hope you enjoyed the interview with Tsid, the kid, Tyler Sidwell, friend of the program. Good having him on. And now it's just your boys, Aaron and Ed. Aaron, you got anything from the weekend or anything fun you did this past week? I mean, just a little tune in. I know you guys were talking about the softball game. How was that?
Softball was well, bro. If there's one thing I take away, and you always take away one of the worst things or one of the best things. I got chocolate on my teeth. I had a couple good stops at second base, got some grounders, but twice I threw shit throws to first.
Oh.
And one of them was pretty pivotal. It was in like the bottom of the 8th. And like we were 2 outs. And I fucking got a tough grounder. And it was in the back of my glove. And I fucking got it. And I just threw it right in the fucking dirt, bro. And I was like so pissed. And the first thing I fucking hear is Tyler Sidwell in the dugout go, Aaron, what the fuck, Aaron? I'm looking around. I'm like, everybody here knows I just fucked up. I know I fucked up. And I got the one guy on the bench who doesn't even play, who rides Pine, giving me shit. Buddy that was just in our podcast, Tyler. Aaron, what the fuck was that, Aaron? I'm like, dude, I know I fucked up. So what I do, Eddie? The next inning, I was up to bat. We needed 2 runs to tie. I fucking hit a 2-run ribby to put us up 4. And then we end up winning the game by 4.
Attaboy, you redeemed yourself.
That's all it is.
You put that behind you. You said short memory.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go out here and do the best that I can to win this game. That's exactly what you did.
Exactly. And honestly, if looks could kill, Tyler Sidwell would be dead. I fucking stared at him with these shades on, and I just was like, dude, I fucking know I fucked up, dude. Suck my balls.
That's fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it's tough. Other than that, no, nothing really too crazy. Had some good eats. Went out, got some good food. Had a buffalo chicken mac and cheese. It was fire. Had a shrimp po' boy. What about you, Ed? What's new? What's new in Ed's world?
Oh, nothing too much, man. I returned to work on the boat that takes you to Catalina. I haven't worked in about a month. So that's nice, getting back on, going on schedule, and then doing the boat. It's fun. There's always some drunkards on there. I'm a bartender, so I just get people fired up, ready to go to Catalina, and it's a fun job. Miss the people that I worked with, but I mean, nothing too much, man. Nothing crazy. Same shit.
Anything coming up this week? We're recording on Monday, so we have extra time.
Yeah. Dude, no, just staying on schedule, going to mics, going to open mics and stuff. And got one tonight, got one tomorrow, got one Wednesday. Just grinding, bro. Trying to live out the dream, man. Trying to live my dream. And that's about it.
And I don't want to talk about this anymore because we already touched this, but we were Friday when we released podcast number 8. It was the highest I've ever been. I can remember you and I talking on the phone. We were fired up for dropping the pod with TK. And then Friday night was the lowest point. If you're one of the 6 people that saw we recorded a 5-minute video. We were live on Instagram. If you were one of the 5 or 6 people that saw that, you would have heard me and Eddie saying some heinous shit. It was actually probably some of the funniest stuff we've ever said. But we had to delete it because it wasn't kosher.
Yeah, dude. And that was I was at work, and then I have no service going through the channel in the ocean, right? So I hop on my phone as soon as we get in the harbor, and I look and I'm like, Huskripe Radio, have we got any, likes or anything on our fucking new podcast? Is it gaining traction? And then I look at the messages, and Tyler messages us and he says, yeah, you guys are gonna have to delete the podcast. I sank into a hole. Like I went and I told my coworkers, and I was so fired up about it the whole day, telling them like today's the release day. This is it. Just getting them, letting them know the whole week. I'm sharing the good news, sharing the good word. And then I tell them that, I have to delete the podcast, and they felt for me, dude. Like they could tell that I was like not my usual Eddie.
Yep.
And they were, but they gave me assurance. They're like, man, that's just how it is. You got to respect the wishes of the team that you're rooting for, and it's not the thing that we wanted to do, but it's what we had to do.
All right. Yeah, and enough looking at week 8. Let's look on to week 9, I guess. We got
Yeah.
more stuff going on. What's going on?
Episode 9. I mean, we've had some commits here recently. Some big ones. 4-star Mario Buford. Mario. I like saying Mario. Mario Kart. Hey, you want to play some Mario Kart? 4-star commit, brother of his name, Marquise Buford. One of the only, I think he was one of 5 black shirts last season that got the the coveted reward of being a Nebraska black shirt. And the Buford brothers on both sides, on left and right side on the defense, dude, that's how sick is that going to be? I
Is
mean,
is Marquise listed as a junior this year?
he's a junior or a senior. I don't know. I I don't know. Good
That's
question.
one of those guys that I just feel like has been here forever.
He's got that dog in him, bro.
Yeah,
Marquise
I
has that dog in him. He's not the biggest guy, but when he goes out there, he plays with his full heart, like just like Malcolm Hartsock, dude. Both of those guys, you might look at them on paper and go, wow, they're less than 6 foot, they weigh whatever. But when you see those motherfuckers play, those guys ball, dude. How many dogs you think they have in their body?
see. I'm more of a quantity over quality guy, or quality over quantity guy. So I think it's just one big dog, just one big ass dog.
Just one huge dog in
Yeah,
there.
Marquise Buford listed as a junior because is Mario technically graduating next spring?
Yeah, I don't know if he's a 24. I think he's a 24 commit.
Yeah, so he wouldn't even come until like he probably redshirt his freshman year too, so only played maximum 4 games. So that'll be Marquise's senior year. So they might not get to play that much together. Hopefully they do. That'd be awesome.
That'd be just dope to see both of those boys out there balling. Tyson Terry, Omaha North commit, class of 25. So we won't see him in a while, but this dude's a baller. He's a defensive lineman. He's won state twice. He's a sophomore and in high school right now. So 2-time state champion in wrestling. Guy's just an absolute baller. A lot of teams have been looking at him, and he chose to stay at home in Nebraska and play for the Big Red. You got to love that. And then another legacy, which legacies, big topic here on the pod today, guys. Sam Koch. How do you pronounce it? Do you I never heard anyone pronounce it, I don't think.
I would say Coke. I know one person with this last name and they pronounce it Coke. Koch.
Yeah, I think I know the same Kochs as you do. But Sam Koch, Nebraska football Sam Yeah, I would say Coach too. Sam Koch. Nebraska football legend, dude, Raven legend, 16 years as a Raven, averaged 44 yards a punt here at Nebraska. His son, Camden Koch, just announced his commitment to be a Nebraska punter slash kicker. And I mean, we got Brian Buschini now. He's done great for us. Timmy Bleedroke done great for us as kicker. Are we finally starting to see the return of amazing Nebraska kickers and punters? Just a position that we never had to worry about. You know,
I
I
think all
remember
signs point to yes.
all signs point to yes, dude. We got a Coke on the team, dude. We got Buschini. He's gonna teach the young gun up. Let him know. I mean, I'm sure his dad Sam fucking has taught him everything he knows. So it's just I'm excited to finally have
We also got that 5-star Tristan Alvarado from West Side.
Tristan
Oh yeah.
Albano won the game for West Side in that state championship last season. He hit like fucking an insane amount of field goals. I think he hit a 45 yarder and a fucking 50 yarder.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in the state championship. And that's like one of the things, anybody can kick a field goal 50 yards, but can you do it under pressure?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the big thing.
That's okay. And I don't want to deviate too much, but I gotta say something about kicking because you see them do all the practice videos from them for like 70 yards out. And granted, like there's a line, and like people trying to block it and shit, but like how are they hitting these so consistently from 50 plus? And then you get into a game and then they like are like 1 for 8, and you're like, what's going on, boys? That just seems like something that you just get good at. I don't get how people aren't like almost perfect at field goals.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so I definitely think that crowd is the issue, bro. Like you're under so much stress, especially if it's the game winner. And just think about all the things racing in your head, bro. Like you gotta put that into perspective, and the great ones take all that out and do their fucking thing. Like I've heard that kickers and punters are more the good ones are harder on themselves in practice than they are during the games, because if you get pissed that you don't make your punts in practice and take all that pressure off of you in practice at the game, you know that you got it and that you're gonna fucking do whatever you got to do. But it is very hard to like fucking. I just couldn't imagine being on a stage, where it's overtime. The game is in your hands. You have to kick a 45 yarder. You're away. The crowd's screaming. It's hard, but I mean that's the position that you chose to play. So
Right. Like
gotta be done.
how many snaps are they on the field for? Like less than 10?
Right.
And they have to convert at a high level, man.
Yeah, dude. You really fucking do. And if you do, then you're known as one of the greats. Alex
Yeah.
Henry. He's the fucking man. But then he went to the NFL and maybe I think he got a little bit of the jitters, dude. Didn't do too good in the NFL. So I mean, we got a legacy. Speaking of legacies, dude, quite a bit on the team right now. Quite a bit. We got Mario coming in next year. Camden coming in next year. Right now on the team, Dwight Boodle. You know that name, Boodle. DiCaprio Boodle. Absolute dog. One of our best corners that we've had in the last couple of years here at Nebraska. Plays for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Grant Taggy, linebacker from West Side. It's got to be his grandpa, dude. I don't even know how they're related, but I'm just assuming that it's his grandpa. Jerry Taggy, one of the greatest Husker quarterbacks in Nebraska football history. First round, 7th overall pick from to the Packers. 2-time national champion, 70 and 71, 32 touchdowns. I think he had 16 rushing touchdowns, one of the highest completion percentages in Nebraska history. We got Elliott Brown, Lance Brown, a Papio native, the Monarch. He's a Monarch guy. Played, I think he joined the team in 94, played all the way through 97. So he has 3 rings. Not a lot of stats on him, but he was there. He was one of those guys. I feel like that was more of a blocking receiver. Like he put his head down. He didn't need to score touchdowns. He didn't need to make catches. He said, "I'm going to play for the team." And hopefully Elliott, his son, can get on there and do something for us. Baron Miles Jr., son of Baron Miles, one of the most underrated cornerbacks in all of Nebraska football history. First team All Big Eight corner, 93 and 94. I mean, 40 tackles, forced fumble, four blocked kicks. 4 blocked kicks in 1994 and 13 breakups and 5 interceptions. Played football for the Montreal Alouettes professionally. And then lastly, we have Isaac Gifford, and his brother Luke. So I mean, these guys, I know Isaac Gifford did a lot of good things for us last year. Not seeing too much out of Baron Miles or Elliott Brown or Grant Taggy. Dwight Boodle hasn't been on the team. This is his first year, so hopefully these guys are good for us. And it's always good to see that their dads, whatever it is, we're like, hey, go play for the Big Red. Let's go. Let's keep this tradition going. You always love to see that.
Absolutely. I mean, keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family, man.
Keep it in it's family. It means business. It's different here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's super cool too that especially Mario Buford, Marquise was there, Scott Frost no longer with us. Now it's Matt Rule. And it's cool to see that Marquise has enough trust in Matt to tell his brother to say, hey, this place is going in the right direction. And he's a 4-star from Texas, a place that we talked about. Oh, we talked about it last podcast, but it's not up anymore. But we talked about how Matt Rule really wants to recruit Texas hard. He's there doing camps right now, or he was in Texas doing camps, really trying to recruit the state of Texas hard with his ties from being at Baylor, a place that we had a lot of recruiting going on in during the 90s when we were fucking monsters. So it's good to see guys from Texas wanting to come to the Big Red.
Absolutely.
A lot of Husker legacies too, dude. Not just this year, but like one that I really remember well, who was one of my favorite players, Baker Steinkooler, son of Dean Steinkooler, the famous fumble Ruski, which is now banned. You can't even run that play anymore because it's so goddamn good. It's an unstoppable play. One of the greatest college football plays of all time, probably.
And also, like, that's a top 5 last name, Steinkooler.
Steinkooler.
You already know that. And you already know he had a fucking neck roll too.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, that's the name that it does, and then he actually does.
Yeah. Cotton brothers, Jake and Ben. Dad Barney, offensive line coach for Nebraska. I think he's at UNLV right now, or he's at a school in Nevada. I don't know which one, but those guys, Ben Cotton, he was good for us. He's the one in the Texas A&M game where he got his nuts grabbed. You remember that?
And was it nuts grabbed or butthole poked?
He grabbed in the taint area. It could have been all 2, all 3, but he was reaching down there and it was absolute bullshit. And then, like any man would, gave a little kick. Don't touch my nuts, you fucking weirdo. And he gets the flag. And that was like the last straw for me when I cried, dude. I was like, my boy is gonna get his nuts grabbed, and you're gonna give him a fucking flag.
Have you ever had that happen to you in a dog pile scrum?
Not that I remember. Maybe. No, I don't think so. But that's fucked up, dude.
Did you ever do that to anybody else?
No, I don't think so. I can't remember that. I don't think that I did because that kind of haunted me, where I was like, this isn't right. This is not okay, and I will never do that to anybody else. Bo and Barrett Rude, Dad Tom, and their grandfather as well. So 3 generations of legacies, the Rudes. And, Barrett Rude, our linebackers coach last year, didn't get picked to be on the staff this year with Matt Rule, but he's the leading Nebraska tackler all time. So props to Barrett Rude. And then Mr. Scott Frost and his dad, Larry. which I'm asking kind of, bro, Scott Frost won a national championship for us, but he also, a lot of people say, put the fucking program in a downward spiral where it is very hard to get up from. Um, what are your thoughts on Scott, dude? Like, do you hate him? Are you indifferent? Do you just like what do you think? The
I
man won a national championship for us.
I mean, I think you got to think of it like a logical person. You take the good with the bad. You appreciate him as a player and what he did and leading us to a national championship as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You love that. But then you also fucking hate him because of all the things you listed: the state of our college football program, the unfilled promises, the sorrows he gives me every Saturday night in the fall, all of it.
Yeah. And I wasn't alive for, the 97 national championship, but it is one that we can claim. Beat Peyton Manning and the Tennessee Volunteers in a game. They kicked their ass. But I know, dude, these last 5 years are going to be really hard to recover from, especially when we thought so much of him and the unkept promises, huge thing where he said, I hope that the Big Ten is going to have to adjust to us. And today was another great practice. I don't know why we didn't see it in the games. It's just things like that where we heard every day for 5 years, and he was great as a 20. I like 20-year-old Scott Frost, but
And in the 5 years of Scott Frost is extra shitty because of what the 4 years of Mike Riley before that. It's just the compounding situation. Like if
right.
Scott Frost was right after Bo and it was shitty 5 years, they'd be like, okay, didn't work out. Let's get a different guy. But there's 9 years total now, so it makes it even worse. Because he was
That's
supposed to be the guy that brought us out of the dump. He was supposed to be the guy that brought us back to glory. And then he made us even worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part that stings even more is where it's like he just added to the fire, didn't really bring us up at all. I mean, recruiting wise, he did better than Mike Riley, I'd say, but just the product on the field did not play out.
The record, the numbers show. Let the numbers show.
Yeah, let the numbers show, dude, and it didn't happen. Um, yeah, brother. I
But
mean,
yeah, we covered the schedule for the next couple of years. Oh, here's the 10 club. Eddie, did you hear more about what this was?
so a couple like I think a week ago or something, Nebraska released on their Instagram the 10 club, and it's players that go above and beyond. And earlier in the a couple months before, Matt Rule said that the best guys on nobody right now was listed as numbers 1 through 10. Like those numbers are reserved for the guys on the team who are doing the best, who are the fucking dogs, who represent Nebraska football in the best way. And they just released a couple days ago the 10 Club, which has 18 guys on it. I don't want to list them all. Some notable ones are Bryce Benhart, Chief Borders, transfer from Arizona, Turner Corcoran, IGC, a guy who was going to transfer, took his name out of the portal. He's on there. Isaac Gifford, Husker legacy. We got Malcolm Hartzog, a guy that I think is going to be a Big Ten breakout corner of the year. Going to be a fucking dog. Nick Heinrich, Ty Robinson, other guys too that were named. And I think that this is going to be the guys that get number 1 through 10, dude. I don't know what else it would be. If you could give me, it's probably going to be dudes that are fucking ballers. I don't think it would be guys like who are really good in practice, like walk-ons who are good Huskers, but they're not really Like those 1 through 10 guys are going to be the fucking athletes, the dudes who can ball, is what I'm thinking. But I don't know.
I mean, there isn't anybody on the team that on the roster that's 1 through 9. So like you could have a point there, Ed.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at IGC. He was number 2 last year. Now he's listed as 82. I speculation. Maybe would be a good idea. Maybe we just did some more research and have a full understanding before we just talk about something.
Uh,
there's yeah. With how many people are on the list? 18, you said. I mean, that
yeah.
makes sense because each person gets 2, like one on each side of the ball. Right,
Yeah.
right. You know
But
what,
I
Eddie?
guess
We'll see. And that's the great part about it. There's always next week, and we'll really find out.
there's always next week. There's always hype. Husker Hype Radio, man. Another episode. Tyler Sidwell joined the pod today. Wants to play a game in Canada. Wants Washington and Oregon in the Big Ten.
And Stanford.
In Stanford. I want Notre Dame. Aaron, who do you want? I forgot. Did you have a
I said Notre Dame, Pitt, Stanford would be cool teams. Yeah.
Pitt?
Pitt's kind of
Yeah,
an exotic one because they're kind of like lesser known East Coast, but
right. I do see how you think that they would fit in. And I have to agree with you on that. That Pitt would. Would they be my number one choice? I think Notre Dame is definitely. If we get one more
right.
team in the Big Ten, Notre Dame has to be number one.
The issue with Notre Dame though is I don't think that they want to join any conference. Like to your point, like if I could choose, yes, Notre Dame would be on the top of the list. But will Notre Dame even ever? I wonder how that's going to shake out, bro. Like to be independent through all this shit, it's going to be like very interesting.
They gotta get off their fucking high horse, dude.
Right.
They really think that they're something special. That they're
They gotta play by the rules like everybody fucking else. Play some conference games, get some goddamn structure.
yeah.
Do
And
you would you think do you think that the big or excuse me, do you think Notre Dame would choose the Big Ten or the ACC to join?
I think that they'd be stupid to join the ACC. If they wanted the easy way out, they would. I
That
mean, you got
the reason I asked that is because they did for COVID year they played the ACC schedule.
right. And then they have other sports teams that play. I think that football is like their only program that is in.
Independent.
Yeah, because like their hockey team is Big Ten, and then I know that I think like baseball is ACC. So it's just interesting that they want to keep their football independent when I do feel like now with the super conferences, like it would almost be in their favor to join a conference now.
Unless they're just getting paid so much directly to them by whoever the fuck is their
That's
provider
true.
for television. Unless they're just getting a bag, then all
Yeah,
the power to them because they can do whatever they want. They're kind of like a content creator compared to like a network. They're like, I want to make my own platform and this is me.
true, dude. They fucking and they're like the one of the biggest brands in college football. It's Nebraska number one, then it's Notre Dame, then it's like USC, Texas,
Michigan. Yeah.
Michigan. Yeah, dude. So they're making money. I mean, they have I don't know if they still do because Big Ten now has a contract with NBC. But yeah, dude, they strictly played their games on NBC for like years. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. And we'll be here to cover it when it happens.
we will. Other than that, brother, got anything else?
That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah, I kind of gotta pee. Gotta pee a little bit. I really wish that we could have kept up that podcast number 8, dude. It was so electric. Uh, this one was electric as well. What am I gonna? Was it not? It was not as electric as last week.
No, I would say this is like not as electric. Absolutely not. But
Yeah,
you can't. That's the special thing about things that are special is that they're not common everyday things. Special
yeah.
things are rare, and that's why they're special.
That episode will live in infamy. And those of you who got to saw it, hope you enjoyed it.
And maybe in like 5 years after Homeboys even graduated, we can post that one and just leave that one for the fans. Just like put that out on the YouTube
Right.
and be like, oh, this is episode 8.
Right. That'd be fun. Damn, dude.
And they'll be like,
All
damn,
right.
they're like, dude, it's episode 800. And then you guys just posted episode 8 from fucking 2023.
True.
We're like, dude, yeah, that show's crazy. And now we're in the box. Now we're the announcers on NBC or Fox.
Yeah. 100%, dude. 100%. Okay, brother. Well, I'd say that was the end of episode 9. I'm Eddie Rosenthal. That's Aaron Worsfold, folks. Thanks for joining another episode of Husk Ripe Radio. Bleed red, shit corn, go Huskers.
Amen.
Peace.